Good evening. Welcome to the May 1st, 2024 meeting of the Gaithersburg Planning Commission. We're small but mighty tonight.
All right.
It's May 1st.
All right. Yeah, I don't know whether we're celebrating May Day or Brian May Day. We'll see how it goes. First up on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from April 3rd, 2024. Is that what it is?
Mr. Chair, there's just one little typo, and I'm going to share that with
Well, okay.
our administrative technician tomorrow.
Okay.
And it's not a big deal, but we're ready
It
to.
doesn't change the substance.
No,
of
not
it.
at all.
Okay, very
Mr.
good.
Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes of April 3rd, 2024 as corrected in the minutes.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously. All right, next up is a recommendation to the Board of Appeals for BOA-9795-2024, special exception for an auto repair use at 419 East Diamond Avenue, Suites F and G in the CBD Central Business District Zone. And this is a recommendation to the Board of Appeals, and presenting from staff is Jasmine Forbes. Good evening, Jasmine.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So this is a recommendation to the Board of Appeals for an auto repair use. As shown on the screen, the property is located at 419 East Diamond Avenue. This application comes before the Planning Commission in accordance with Section 24-188B, which require all petitions for special exceptions to be referred to the Planning Commission for recommendation. The applicant's requesting approval for a special exception for auto repair use. JMU Auto Services is an automobile repair shop that also provides body repair services. An auto repair use and body repair use in the CBD zone is a special exception use. And I will now have the applicant's representative do the presentation this
All right,
evening.
great. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Sherwin Wells. I represent Jose Urrutia and JMU Auto Services. They put in an application for a special exception to be an auto repair facility in the CBD zone. It is an allowed use. We've worked with the city to find out all the various necessities we need to comply with, and we've done that. The neighboring businesses, they all involved in auto repair or body work, so it's not going to be any disturbance or distraction from the business that in the area. We have ample parking, more than the required amount for the city, and we're working with the city to get this exception approved. We already complied with so far all the different obligations, and we're here to ask for the special exception.
Any changes to the building?
No changes to the building at all.
Okay. And what's there now? What's in those two
The
bays?
previous tenant was a cabinet maker,
Okay.
so we just upfitted it with the lift for the vehicle. There's one lift in there to lift the vehicle, and then all the other equipment to tire, air, but it's pretty much the same design as what was there before with the cabinet maker.
And the ventilation system, is that unique for?
The ventilation system was already there from the cabinet maker, and we have an exception with a special restriction, no painting. So even though the ventilation is there from the previous cabinet maker, there's no painting in the special exception application.
Well, with that ventilation, will it be necessary to have, like that special hose when you have a car on for the exhaust?
Well, that's separate. So there's
That's separate.
Right. So there's a vent there, but with the bay doors,
Right.
Okay.
you
It's
lift
over
it
the
up
door.
high enough where it doesn't
Okay.
keep all the carbon monoxide in the bay.
Okay, good.
All right. Any more questions for
No.
applicant?
Not at all.
All right, and I do see one person attending the meeting remotely, so I guess I'll ask the tech crew to play the video.
Good evening. If you've connected to the meeting tonight via Zoom and you're on a desktop or a laptop and you wish to make a public comment, we can't currently see or hear you. What you need to do, please, is wiggle your mouse around and look towards the bottom center of your screen. You should see a raise hand button. Go ahead and click on that now for us, please. Alternatively, if you've connected in via telephone, you can press *9.
Okay, great. We'll give that a second for them to click. Is anyone here in the audience to testify on this application? Okay, very good. What's the recommendation, please?
So staff recommends that the Planning Commission, based on the exhibit submitted, the applicant's testimony, and the staff report, findings and recommendation, recommend approval of special exception BOA-9795-2024 with 5 conditions.
Okay. It appears this is a compatible use given the context for a
Yes.
lot of these
Absolutely.
buildings. here,
Yes.
So I don't see any real issue with the use, and there's no modifications to the building or site, so there's not much to look at there.
Well, you know, this building in particular, this set of buildings is actually an incubator for many successful businesses that go on beyond. Once they move out, they get big enough to start their own real shops. And I think it's a great use, and I wish you all the luck and congratulations. It's a great start.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just happy that we can find another use for that space. So, yeah, we wish you good luck.
All right, sounds good. Well, with that, is our motion, please?
Sure. Mr. Chair, I move that the Planning Commission, based on the exhibits submitted, the applicant's testimony, and the staff report, findings and recommendations, recommend approval of the special exception BOA-9795-2024 with 5 conditions. And I'm going to read them just for the community, okay? All right, number 1, the special exception is granted for JMU Auto Services only and shall terminate at the time the business ceases to operate. Number 2, operating hours are limited to the hours specified in the applicant's statement, which is Exhibit 7. Number 3, all vehicles must be stored within the service bay or in the designated parking spaces as shown on the site plan, which is Exhibit 4. Number 4, applicant must comply with all zoning, building, and fire code regulations prior to commencement of operations. And number 5, all auto parts and materials must be contained inside the building.
Second the motion.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that passes unanimously. Recommendation to move forward. So thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, that takes us to our site plan agenda, and we have one of those tonight for SP-9788-2024, conversion of 1,886 square feet of commercial space to 3 residential units at 20 East Diamond Avenue, the CBD Central Business District zone. And it's final site plan, and this was revised. Are you going to present in lieu of Caroline, I guess, since she was on the staff report?
Yeah, no, she's out of the country,
Okay.
so it'll be me.
That works?
Okay, so staff before you present final site plan application SP-9788-2024. As shown on the screen, the subject property is addressed at 2 Russell Avenue and 20 East Diamond Avenue. The property is zone CBD. The applicant's requesting approval to convert 1,886 square feet of his existing commercial space to 3 additional residential units and update the existing parking lot. The application comes before the Planning Commission in accordance with Section 24-168, which requires the Planning Commission to grant final site plan approval. And as part of the application, the applicant's also requesting a parking waiver for drive aisle dimensions. And I will have Avi, who's here tonight, to do the presentation.
Okay, great. Good evening.
Hi, good evening. My name is Avi Safran. I'm representing the owners. I guess we'll start from the beginning. We are going to make some elevation changes on the, I'm not sure what it covers, but it's definitely level 1, possibly level 2 on the left side. Ooh, what did I just do? Oh, sorry. Can you see my mouse?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So this area, there is an exterior staircase, which will be,
Oops.
Oops.
It's the mouse.
I'm going to stop. That area on the left is a exterior staircase with a door. We are going to brick that in, remove it and brick it in. That's for the first part. Oh, man. Let me use this. Nope. How did we get to? Oh, there we go. Right, so you can see it in the bottom picture, you can see what it looks like. What it would look like, we're gonna convert that to have 2 windows and then obviously repoint and rebrick the areas of the steps that are not gonna be the windows. That's part 1. Why am I not? Didn't we have?
Right there, this elevation.
Oh, wow.
This elevation.
Okay, so at the top left again, there currently is, where you can see the mouse is, to the right of the mouse, there was a door there, and where the door is, there was a window. We're going to swap that to give access to the meters through the door, and then that window is going to become part of the units, the 3 units. Additionally, on the driveway, we had to do a 10-foot dedication for work that's gonna be done, I believe, on Russell. And then we have to restripe. The layout is not to current code, I believe, but I think it's going to be on what the next stage of code. That's what Caroline was telling us. So we designed it to comply with the future code, not for the current code.
Right.
Okay.
I think that about covers it.
Nope.
Jasmine, what specifically is changing? I assume this is the new zoning ordinance that's generating new parking modules?
Yeah, so due to this dedication, they were gonna lose some parking spaces, and to make it work, they had to make the drive all one way, because currently it's two-way.
Oh, okay.
So right now, the module they're showing is 50 feet, but our code requires 60 feet. But with our new code, we're changing that module, so the applicant made this parking module to meet our up-and-coming new zoning ordinance, but we're currently, well, have some
It's relatively
requests.
short, too.
Yeah.
You're not gonna have a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions?
Yeah, Mr. Saffron, just a quick question about that area, the stairwell that you're gonna brick up.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about that and why you've chosen to do that.
Yeah, so that used to be the entrance into the commercial area, which we're
Mhm.
converting, and there was a staircase going up and a staircase going down. So we're gonna actually, reframe that whole area to make it into units. Get
Oh,
rid of
okay.
the
It'll be
interiors.
usable space.
Yeah, usable space on the inside,
Okay.
and then we don't need the staircase on the outside.
Yeah,
we
right.
need to a
Okay.
brick wall.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Other than the main entrance, is there another way to egress in case of fire or in case of emergency?
I have to think of the plans. I think we're relying on windows, if I'm not mistaken.
It's a three-story.
Is it
So
the,
there's, sorry, a main entrance
That's
that's
the main entrance.
maintaining, and then there's also an entrance on the side.
But I think,
There's nothing on the side?
Well,
think that goes to
they
the-
will no doubt have to
Yeah.
submit with permit
Yeah.
egress
Yeah.
plans. That
Right.
will then be
Right.
reviewed by the, John's group that looks at that stuff.
right,
And
and
our
then,
commercial permitting staff did review this to make sure there was
Yeah.
proper fire
but
exits.
there's a back exit, right, where you said you're gonna swap a door for,
so that's an isolated area. That's for the
Meters.
that's
Is that
right,
for the meter room? I
meters.
believe it's for the
Okay.
meter room, or it might be the entrance to the unit.
Okay,
Actually, we do have
We have- yeah.
floor plans.
Yeah, why don't you show that, because I
Yeah.
asked Craig for those after the packet came out, and it shows very clearly what's going on, which
Yep,
is,
so here we go. So here's the initial building permit. Computer wants to.
We had multiple discussions about plans, so I gotta remember where we
Okay.
landed. That's what's happening.
So here's the first one.
Right.
Right here.
Right, so that is remaining the electrical. So that is isolated on its own. It's not an egress for anybody else.
Right.
okay.
Right, and then the top left is remaining the commercial space. He's also gonna have his own exit out the side.
Oh, so it's a mixed use then, basically. It's commercial and residential?
Yeah, it's currently a mixed use, and we're converting some of the commercial, we're converting it to more resident, adding 3
Okay,
residential units.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
That's-
good.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Lloyd.
All right, there's nobody in the audience to ask if they'd like to speak on this, but there is somebody online, so let me ask them if they want to hit the raise hand button. We're happy to hear from them if they want to do that. If not, let's go to the recommendation, please, Jasmine.
Okay, so there's two separate motions
Yeah.
for this one. So the first one is staff recommends that the planning commission, based on the exhibit submitted and the staff report findings and recommendation, grant SP-9788-2024 final site plan finding in compliance with sections 24-170 and 24-171 of the city code with 2 conditions. And the second motion is staff recommends that the planning commission, based on the exhibit submitted, the applicant's testimony, the staff report, staff findings, and staff recommendation, grant a parking waiver of section 218E of the city zoning ordinance for a drive aisle waiver finding in conformance with section 24-222A.
Great, thanks. I should have asked this before, but the parking waiver only addresses the dimensions, not the number of spaces
Right.
available.
Yeah, because it's still within the Old Town district, and there's no required parking.
Well, I think this is a microcosm of a problem we're gonna need to solve a lot of, and it seems to work here, which is taking commercial space that's no longer marketable and making it residential, and this looks like a good
Yeah.
fit,
And
so.
it's also necessary.
Yeah, absolutely, demand is there, so that's great.
So
Go
Jasmine,
ahead.
can I love you a little more if you read the two conditions for
Sure.
me?
Can we read out the two conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. Two conditions are, number one, applicant must satisfy all outstanding comments from Departments of Planning and Public Works related to the site prior to the issuance of a site development permit. And the applicant must receive approval of a final record plat prior to the issuance of a building permit.
And guess what's on our agenda in the next session? All right, any other questions, concerns? All right, is there a motion, please?
Okay, Mr. Chair, I move that the Planning Commission, based on the exhibits submitted, the applicant's testimony, the staff report, staff findings, and the staff recommendations, grant I started with the wrong one, I apologize. Let me just keep going. It
Yeah,
doesn't
keep
really
going,
matter.
Grant, go ahead.
Yeah, grant a parking waiver of section 24-218E of the city zoning ordinance for a drive aisle waiver, finding it in conformance with sections 24-22A of the city code.
222A.
222A of the city code. Thank you.
Second.
It's moved to second, and all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay,
So the parking waiver passes unanimously, and then on to the actual plan.
yes, sir. Mr. Chair, I move that the Planning Commission, based on the exhibits submitted and the staff report, findings and recommendations, grant SP-9788-2024 final site plan, finding it in compliance with sections 24-170 and 24-171 of the city code with the two conditions read into the record.
Second.
Move to second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? That passes
Go for it.
unanimously. All right,
Got it.
great.
Thank you.
Good luck. Call if you need anything, but not us. Call if you need anything.
That's off the record.
It's already passed, all right. That takes us to our record plat agenda, and instead of reading it twice, Jasmine, why don't you go ahead and say whatever needs to be said for the record, and we'll move through those.
So this evening, we have two record plats, RP-9783-2024 and RP-9750-2024, has been reviewed and approved by staff and is ready for final signature.
Any questions on the record plats?
No.
No.
All right, is there a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the two record plats as read into the record.
Second.
Moved and second, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? That passes unanimously. Record plats are done.
Yes.
How about that? All right. That takes us to, from the commission, Lloyd, may I start with you?
Nothing.
Danny, anything? tonight?
Nothing.
All right. And I don't have anything, so what do we got down here from the central office?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have one announcement, which is that I am officially retiring from this position as of August 2nd.
Oh.
Now, Greg did ask me today that since I'm retiring, he said, would you consider being reappointed to the Planning Commission if the position became available? And I hadn't thought about it, but I didn't hesitate. I said, sure.
Okay, good.
Does that mean I have to leave because I came
No.
over?
And that's all I have today.
Thanks, John, and good luck. I'm sure we'll hear more.
Yeah.
Oh,
Say more
absolutely.
Good
about
for
that
you.
later. Yeah.
Good for you.
And if you listen carefully to his announcement, he actually didn't specify the date, so we'll see what we can do.
Okay.
The year.
The year, oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes these get planned years in advance, don't they?
That's true.
All right, very good. Jasmine, anything tonight?
The only thing is just a reminder that May 20th is the public hearing for the retool, that amendment that was included about the 10-year expiration clause on schematic development plan.
And I think you've got polling done from everyone, right? We're
Yes.
covered.
Yeah.
Okay. Any concerns or good turn? Okay. Very good. All right, if there's nothing else, have a good evening. We're adjourned.